I forgot to turn. Okay, now you can start over.
Okay, what's up? Spacebar, this is Toy Commander. It's a game that came out 1999 on the Dreamcast console. It's actually a Sega game. It features Sonic is a little Easter egg. I don't know if we're going to see it in any percent, but yeah, it's a game about driving around a house. You're inside of a kid's imagination, and you complete tasks or missions within a certain time frame to collect a certain amount of trophies, which you are required to have in order to beat the boss. And there are 7 rooms. We're going to beat only 2 bosses, and then we're going to take on the final boss, and that's the entire game. So yeah, it's pretty cute. It's reclaiming the title of Toy Commander from Huggy Bear. He's upset that we don't play with the toys anymore, or something like that. Some kind of Toy Story type of deal. But yeah, it's a fun little game. Definitely unique. And yeah, I'm just thinking of something to make the name of the file here. There we go. Okay, so just a little overview of the house before we jump into it. Pretty cool. You're not going to see a lot of it since I'm going to be menuing so fast. But yeah, these are the different sections. You unlock them as you go. It's pretty fun. So here we go. I'm going to jump right into it. As you can see, I got 7 stages. Only start with 2.
Please do the countdown.
All right, here we go. Countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. So we start off the first stage.
So when you have time, can you please lower the Discord audio? It's kind of loud.
No problem. Okay, sorry. I'm just going to restart. Okay. Are you good on your timer? Do you want? Can you restart it real quick?
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, go. First stage is actually kind of difficult. It's definitely reset heavy. You need to turn on the stove and knock the eggs into the boiling water to boil the eggs. The difficult part is shooting the burner, which I was able to correctly do. And then pushing the eggs in is also not
So
easy.
we are cooking food now.
We're definitely cooking. We're starting off cooking. And yeah, that went pretty well, but that can be really difficult, getting those eggs in the pot. And you do the burner early, this because it takes a longer amount of time. It takes like 10 seconds for the pot to boil up, so you actually get the eggs in before it's done boiling. So here is actually, I went to the wrong stage, but it's fine. This is a training stage at the actual first stage of the game. It just tries to get you used to the mechanics of flying a plane and landing it on a runway, then using a helicopter to pick up some, what I call hostages, but in this case they're just sugar cubes. And we drop them into the coffee. You only need 2 sugars, but I like 3, personally. And then finally we take the car and get it to the chocolate bar, and they're trying to show off their mechanics of being able to change gravity at will by a ramp going up a wall. So yeah, just kind of a little taste of the fun.
So kind of like in Mario Kart 8.
Exactly. You're just getting a little taste of what's going on inside this kid's head. You know, he's got a lot of imagination. So here we are in the same area of the kitchen. This time we're doing a race. There is a theme for the races. Like each area has a single race in it, which I think is kind of cool. But other than that, all the stages are mostly unique. They don't really repeat the same idea twice, which is really awesome. I mean, you're in the final area and you're getting the most unique stages that are, I mean, in my opinion, the best. But yeah, just the first areas, the stages are pretty simple. Just a 1-lap race, nothing too bad. This one, you have to destroy the submarines, and you're supposed to protect the ship of yours, but the ship is so slow that, I mean, it's so much easier to just destroy the submarines. The stage ends when the submarines die, so... And yeah, the stage is now filled with water, also, which is just a fun little... I don't know, just a unique thing that I always found pretty cool about this game. Creativeness. And I actually don't need to beat this stage, because I beat an extra stage, so. On to the first boss. The bosses have kind of weak points. If you've ever played like Star Fox 64, it definitely has like Star Fox 64 vibes, where you have a certain weak point on the boss that you have to shoot off, and then it unlocks the next weak point, and so on, until he's beaten. And that's the first boss. Boom. On to the second area. The bedroom. This is an RNG stage. You have to shoot all of the red guys and only the red guys. If you shoot anything that's not red, it resets everything. So you can see on the mini-map, by the way, in the top right, I'm using the mini-map a lot on this stage to figure out where the enemies are. There's a lot of randomness in this stage, but there is also patterns to it. Like certain types of enemies only have certain types of spawn locations. Like, for example, there's a spider. There are 2 of them always, and the spiders have about 6 locations, so you could, by process of elimination, kind of figure out where they will be or not be, and then that obviously means there's more favorable situations. The big thing with this stage, I would say, are the number of missiles. This one is really testing you on your resources. Like, so far, like the first boss, you noticed I had infinite ammo, right? I mean, I didn't really have to worry about my resources. This one, they only give me 5 missiles, and I'm a car, meaning I can't get into the air. So I have this machine gun, which has infinite ammo. You can see on the bottom left, the machine gun. And then next to that is the pencils. They are numbered. The pencils are what shoots in that white circle I have on my screen. Like, if I point it up right now, I could shoot it all over the screen. But the machine gun only shoots directly in front of me. So you try to use the machine gun when you can on this stage to not waste the ammo, and then you're able to use the missiles to shoot the guys that are actually too high up to shoot with the machine gun. But yeah, anyway, on to the next one. Is a fun little stage. Those are apparently just packets of water. I always thought they were like rice takeout from the Chinese place, but you know, they're water apparently. And you just have to put out the dynamite. There we go. That one's tough because the NPC, if you want to call it that.
In my opinion, it also looks like rice.
Right, it does. It does. It does look like rice. That was weird. Usually you get a camera shift at the end. I didn't get the camera shift there. It was odd. Anyway, on to the next stage. This one is a play on, like, Godzilla from back in the 90s. You just need to take him out. He's terrorizing the city. If you'll notice, I'm going around getting a bunch of ammo upgrades, and I should say ammo and upgrades. The pink is usually for ammo, so this is more pencils. This one is more erasers. I haven't even shown you erasers yet. But I did get the 2 ups. The ups are what upgraded my my missiles. So they started off as pencils, and then they upgrade to pens naturally, and then they go to markers, which are clearly superior to pens. So I just think that's really cute how they did that also. Just another little cute thing. Oh man, my splits are screwed. Oh well. So already done with the second stage. I only needed to beat three of those stages. In the first area, I beat 5 stages, because that's how many you need to unlock the boss. So, and I beat the boss. The second area, I don't need to beat the boss, so I only beat 3 stages, because that's the minimum requirement to get to the next area. So here I am in the third area. This is one of the coolest areas, and one of the coolest stages. This one I will also only be beating 3 as well, because I don't need to beat the boss in this area. But this stage in particular is called Labyrinth. I call this the toilet car. Oh, that's unlucky. But you'll see why this is called the toilet car. This is probably one of the longest stages in the game. And casually, this is probably one of the most difficult. But it takes you through this long series of twists and turns. And you have to open up some gates even along the way to make sure that the path is clear. and then make it all the way to the end. And they utilize something they do throughout this game that I just absolutely can't get enough of is utilizing the props of household items. Like I'm on the couch right now, you know, we got to jump across the gap to get to the coffee table, and now we have to go into this planter, and then we're not just in the planter, we have to go along the edge of the sides of it now, and then we go like behind the couch here. It's like, it's just so cool how we're just in a house, and all these items around us can be so creative and just become fun when you think about them in a certain way, or arrange them in the room a certain way.
Yeah, this kind of reminds me of the hero hideaway in Pikmin 4.
Ugh. In this part, there are mines scattered everywhere. So there's actually 3 gates. I only opened 2. The last gate you can skip, which I'm going to do. I'm doing it right now. This last part is the hardest, though. You need to have enough speed to get up this ramp. As you can see, it's just not easy, and you have to go up at a very specific angle. There's a backup I had. It doesn't usually work, but it worked there, so I'll take it. And that's why it's called the toilet car, by the way. You end up in the toilet. So I do have options of stages to choose from, and, you know, of course, I'm picking the ones that take the shortest amount of time. But, I mean, honestly, I'm skipping some of the coolest stages that do exist in this game. This one is also really cute. The farm animals are being terrorized by the smelly shoes. So this probably goes on in my house too. But we have to go all the way up to the top rack of the closet, because that's where we keep the deodorant, or whatever you want to call it. So we have to go all the way up here. This is cycle-based, by the way. As you can see, this thing just goes up and down on a global timer. And there's the deodorant. So the tough part is getting it down in the right spot. And I did immobilize one of the mouse earlier in the stage to help with dealing with this. And I'd say that's a pretty decent spot for it to land. I just have to get it against the wall, hopefully before the mouse comes. Nice. And then you use the mouse to push it. Since it only rolls, obviously it's a cylinder. It's hard to move it vertically, so you just have the mouse do it for you. On to the final stage of the 3rd area. This game goes by quick, so sorry. I'm trying to talk fast to keep up with it. It's just very quick. But this one is, this is the only area that doesn't have a race, you could say, with the green rings. I skipped the race in the 2nd area, but this is like the only race stage, except there's no rings. You just have to keep in line with these other jets. The jets, this is the first time they're introducing the jet, by the way. There's been a ton of different vehicles. I haven't even talked on that. But they obviously have all different speeds and different things about them. The jet is one of the fastest and most difficult to control, especially for aerial vehicles. So they're really just kind of testing you to see if you can fly it properly, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, something I want to touch on while I say that is the scaling in this game is absolutely fantastic. Like you start off and it just gradually introduces everything in such a great way, and then starts to utilize them all together towards the end of the game, and it's really amazing. I mean, props to the developers to this game. Really, really well done on that part. But yeah, coming up to the end here, just riding in with these guys to the end. It's sort of an auto-scroller. I think we're about to jump into another sort of auto-scroller in the next area. We're now in the 4th area, the parents' bedroom. And we have to escort a train to the end of the stage here. So we have to break that, whatever you want to call it. It splits the track to allow the train to actually go. But the path we just let it go on is the shortest and most dangerous path. So we're going to let it go and just take out all the enemies, which for casual players would be pretty difficult, but, you know, doing this like 100 times, it's not too bad. And we got the really funny boost thing where the enemy next to the tank gets the boost, and then the tank picks up the boost and he just goes flying. So pretty funny. He just ended up over here next to the pole. Another cool thing about this game, how interactable it is. I mean, you could just shut off the lights. I could shoot the light switches to turn stuff off. You could break things. Just really cool, really fun, and cute, wholesome. That was the railroad rabble, and now we're on to putting out fires. This is an even shorter stage. This area is so short. But here you just have to put out the fires. Another one where we flood the room. You could pick up 5 things at a time, pick up all 5 waters. There are actually 3 sets of flames. You can see it on the minimap. They actually count as like enemies for some reason. And each one only requires 3. So we're just gonna do some nice movement. And put out all those fires. Boom. Easy as that. This is one of the hardest stages. This is one of the coolest concepts in this game. You don't actually use your missiles or anything. You're only using a hostage vehicle, but you have to pick up these little toy soldiers that do all the work for you. So you can't really do anything. You just have to rely on these like NPCs to do the work for you. But in this stage, yeah. Hold on, sorry. I gotta pay attention here. Okay. So this is all about your health management. Like, you're going to see I'm going to get really, really low here. Like, really low. But if I play it perfectly, you won't die. And then you get back here with, sorry, you might hear a phone ringing, but I'm not going to answer that. You only have to kill those 2 enemies at the end in order to beat the entire stage. So, yeah. Here I'm going to try to do a concept. Yeah, you can see that. See the plane moving on its own? So there's... You could like switch vehicles and make the vehicle sort of drive on its own. And that can be useful in a few areas. So this is one of them. This is not good. Okay, we backed it up. So I made the plane drive on its own, but unfortunately it can take off and like be in the air. And it can even, it can even wrap around the pole and be headed into the bathroom before you even control it. But unfortunately it was still stuck on the runway when I got to it. On to the boss. So this is the second and final mini-boss, I guess you could say, that we'll be beating in the game before the final boss. And it is one-cyclable. We'll see if I can pull it off. It's looking okay. Oh, no. So normally you can just kind of kill them in one go without having to like wrap around in a circle and get missiles or anything, but... Unfortunately, I missed it. This is a cool boss because it starts to limit your ammunition as well as create a lot more damage points, like weak points for the boss that are more particular, difficult to hit. But, you know, Speedrunner does Speedrunner things and just takes it out in a couple seconds. This one, pretty self-explanatory. You gotta take out the UFOs, and you can kind of cheese them, as you can see me doing, before they even get to the room. The IL on this, the individual level record, is insane. But for me, I'm okay with only missing a couple and taking them out like this. That's fine. But yeah, this is the garage already. In the 5th area, the garage and the office, you're going to see like I shift back and forth between the rooms. This is one of the most difficult stages casually, without a doubt. Ooh, whoops. Just restart. And the IL is seriously something else on this one. But the idea is you have to get the princess in the castle and like go pick up these boost barrels and then break them open and then use this big ramp and all this other stuff. But I missed it. But something I didn't talk about in this game is picking things up. So you've seen me pick things up so far, but you can actually pick things up through walls. So we're going to use that here, hopefully, to... That looks terrible. Maybe I haven't done this in a while. We have to pick up the princess and all her jewels. There's 4 jewels and 1 princess, so we have just enough inventory space to do it in one go. The jewels are underwater in a chest, and the princess is in this castle. So we're going to see... There we go. We got her through the wall right there. And unfortunate landing. But now we're going to drive over to this underwater chest and go right through the wall to pick up all 4 jewels. Can't forget the bracelet. Got the earrings and the ring. Don't want to forget the bracelet. And then just ride up out of here. Like, look at all the cool stuff. There's like a vacuum in the water. Also, they do like continuity very well. So like that vacuum, that'll be like a major piece in a different stage, you know? And then here it is just kind of as a prop in the background in this stage. I just find that really awesome that they do that. So this is another one where you have the car auto drive itself at the start. This is one of my favorites. I think this is one of the most well done, put together stages. It does a good job of utilizing all 3 types of vehicles, really. A tank, a bus for picking stuff up, and then a helicopter, or a plane, I should say. Due to speedrunning reasons, we don't need the plane. But all these vehicles have to work together on this stage. So here, there's a drill way up later that doesn't mean a lot now, but we're going to take our one singular missile we were given this stage and shoot it at that drill, which is going to unlock the final section here. You're going to notice some cardboard I'm going to drive over on this final turn that leads as a ramp. This would not be here if I did not shoot that drill. So, and being the bus, I can't shoot things, so I had to use one of the other vehicles to do it. But yeah, just kind of fun concept. Pick up the 3 guys, save them, ride up the skis and all that. Like, it's just cool. I mean, come on. It's just cool. On to the next area, the attic. This is like a fan favorite stage. I mean, who doesn't like this stage? You look at this and you're like, what am I playing, Crazy Taxi? And yeah, you're kind of playing Crazy Taxi right now because you got to go pick some guy up and drop him off at his destination. He's got a date with the girl at the train station. Does not want to miss the train. So, see if we can make a nice turn here. Nope, not really, but there's the guy. Pick up he's going surfing or something because he's got a surfboard. He's ready to go. And then you just want to take an optimal route to the end. Hopefully with some nice driving. Pass by the suspicious gun that's on the floor. Yep. There's just a random gun on the floor in the attic in the children's game here. There it is. Happily ever after. On to the next one, the heist. This is one where you have to pick up a bunch of jewels and bring them back to the birdcage. These is where the levels start getting more complicated, by the way. Like, there's a lot more to them. It's a lot more difficult. Here, I'm a bus. I only have 5 things, but I need to bring 8 things back. So there's actually a creative solution. I'm going to go into this castle. Through 2 walls, I'm going to pick up 3 jewels. And then I'm going to head back. Normally, you have to use the other truck that you're given to, you know, damage these places and break into them, then bring the bus. We're going to drop the 3 jewels off right in front of the cage. And now we're going to go on the second route, which is up here. With this guy's keeping 2 of our coins. So we're going to get those coins through the wall. And then finally, where would you keep your most precious possessions in your house? Me, I'm keeping them in the piggy bank in the attic. But this kid, he just knows. He knows better. So there we are. You're supposed to break open the piggy bank. Obviously, just using our cheat code of picking stuff up through walls again. We got all 5 rings, and now we're going to drop them off. And this way we don't have to leave the cage and come back in. We're now going to pick up those rings through the wall and drop them off. That's pretty good. All right, final stage of the attic is to just take out a bunch of enemies. They're actually, you know what? I'm gonna restart this just so you can watch the cutscene. Like, they're driving around a gun and shooting it. Like, what is this? This is supposed to be a kid's game. But yeah, so we're just gonna drive here and take out this guy before he gets over the hill. Go inside of here, pick up the upgrade, or not. There we go. Drive up here. Oh no, I set one of the cars off. Okay. Alright, so there's 2 cars and 3 tanks. I took out 1 tank, I took out 2 cars, and now both the other 2 tanks should show up right here. Ran out of ammo. Okay, there we go. Oh yeah, there's 3 types of, like I have the pens, right, as missiles. There's also erasers. Erasers are like bombs that drop below you, or like if you're a truck, it shoots them in front of you, I guess, at like an angle. And then you have like mines. They're like tacks, but the mines are pretty bad, so you don't usually see me use them. I might try to use them here just to show you guys. This one, you just take out 3 planes, and you see like the little tacks as mines. There you go. Just use them. But mostly we're just using the pencils. They're just the best. And 1 more plane to take out. Come on, die. Uh-oh. 50-50 chance. No. So you can crash into that final plane, and sometimes you pass the stage, sometimes you fail the stage, and I unfortunately failed. Normally you don't want to crash into them, though. My goodness. My goodness. This actually killed one of my runs one time. This is not supposed to be a difficult stage. But it can be. You might think it's as simple as like what I just did right there, like shooting 4 missiles at the guy, but it doesn't usually work out that way when they're like usually the first one hits him and knocks him out of the way of the other ones. So I try to stagger the missiles. But anyway, that took longer than it should have. Onto Crazy Train. We're getting real close to the end. This one is probably one of the coolest stages. I mean, let's be real. It lags though. This area is just cool to appreciate. And anyway, we have like 5 planes. We got to take out this train. This is not something that was normally in the any percent run, but I added it in because it is a faster stage, it's just harder. But you can do it pretty consistently in one cycle. You have a limited amount of ammo, so you want to kind of weave back and forth to avoid your missiles hitting the ones that they are shooting. And use your machine gun to kind of take out this back guy. And then the sides should be fairly injured already. Fortunately not. And I only have 1 gun to take out, come on. You usually want to get it before it goes on this crazy cycle here. But it's going on a crazy cycle and there's not much I can do. Okay, we got it. Alright, now the piano predicament. This one casually is like a nightmare, but as a speedrunner, it's one of the fastest. You're supposed to go into this extremely deadly fish tank to grab the bomb, the big bomb. Oh my goodness, that was terrible. And then we need to drop it into the piano and blow the piano up. But this will be it. After this, we're just going into the cellar and fighting the final boss, Huggy Bear. To beat Huggy Bear, you don't use traditional vehicles. You actually use the bosses that you've unlocked so far in the game. And the bosses that you haven't beaten are your enemies. So it makes it much harder that we have not beaten a lot of the bosses. We've only beaten 2. Really? So my vehicle died like shortly after I dropped the bomb, but the game must have counted my death first. So here we are for a 3rd time. What a predicament this piano is becoming.
3rd time is the charm.
3rd time's the charm. Nope, apparently not. Alright. I mean, I think I have enough health to not die this time though, so I should be okay. Yeah. I see myself flying at it. Also, look at the vehicle. It's a matchbox with dice attached. Like, that's so cool. All right, final stage. You're gonna see I got our cyclone guy and our boat, and we got to take out the bosses that we have not seen, which is this guy's Roly Poly. He's in the 2nd area. There's a flying horse in the attic that we're not gonna talk about because we're gonna ignore him. And we're just going to take out the boss from the 3rd area, which is a truck. And never mind, we're going to restart. This is one of the hardest stages, so I might just actually stop talking if I fail it again. It's so easy to lose. You really can't lose any time, or else you just fail the stage. You have to be on top of it. This is probably the hardest part, though, right here. Taking out that truck without taking too much damage. Man, really? So normally that guy doesn't deal that much damage to you. He just was super locked in that time for some reason. Okay. He's literally upside down. What's going on with that guy? Normally, he does not even deal, like, any damage to you at all. I don't know what's going on with him. This is kind of why any percent sucks. Like, in 100%, you don't have to deal with this because you unlock all the bosses before you get here. I mean, it's really hard, obviously. Like, imagine doing your whole run and then you're nervous and you have to do that. Okay. Is my mic still working? Yeah. My headset, like, totally bugged out.
Yes.
What's going on with this guy? Oh my goodness, please. Okay. This is awful right now. Oh my gosh, you guys don't even know what I'm going through. The sound is so bugged out. I cannot hear anything.
As long as it's still fine on our end.
Alright. I fixed the sound, but yeah, this is getting toxic at this point. This is usually something I try to practice a lot before I get into any percent runs. As you can see, it's very awful. How did he not die? Come on, man. Like, everything has to go perfect. Jeez. Jeez. Like, even something like you could... I just shot enough missiles, but this guy decided he's going to shoot missiles at my missiles, and he happened to, in midair, collide with enough of my missiles that he didn't die. And that's what the same thing would happen with the dump truck that other time. And this boss should not... Like, everything that this guy's been doing is not real. Like, that's what he normally does. Even when he drives into you, he doesn't... You know, he doesn't affect you, really. But on these attempts, he is, of course, because I guess marathon run. And he's like way out of position right now. He should not be where he is. So I'm going to try to adjust, try not to take damage. Are you serious? Okay, well that's a reset. Apparently I didn't deal enough damage to break him out of his jetpack phase, so... Yeah, took too much damage. This is just getting awful. But there's nothing else I can do, really. Just everything has to go right somehow. See, like, right there, I shot 18 shots. Maybe, like, 3 didn't hit. He still should have died. And then here, so I just shot 21 shots. Even that is already like, I might have to reset just because of that. Because you need every shot, too. All 100. Unless you're like perfect accuracy, you never miss. Dude, I can't catch a break. If I get the first part down, then that guy just... It's like he gets stuck on me. It's not even like... What am I supposed to do? Alright, there we go. Now he's in a good position. This is how it usually looks. It should not be a problem. Also, something I never mentioned is all the other bosses, they disappear when he gets to this phase. Which is why we just kind of ignore them and get him to this phase right away. And by we, I mostly mean me, because nobody else really runs this game. He's really still in the jetpack? This is going to be another reset, man. Come on. This was looking so good. I just need to get really lucky and have him not hit me. He usually hits you a couple times at the end. Can't avoid it. Please die. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Alright, now we wrap this whole game up with this final little epilogue 20-second stage here, where you just pick up some passengers and fly them into the final cutscene of the game. Time would have happened right now, by the way.
Captain! 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 Nice. 3 minutes overestimate.
Yeah, disaster in the final stage. I mean, I kind of knew that was going to happen because I didn't practice it. I haven't done that stage in that way in a long time. But yeah, luckily we grow up to be a pilot that almost crashes a plane into a mountain. But, you know, we fell asleep while flying, but it is what it is. At least we have the good memories of being a kid. This is the development team. They're just a bunch of college kids in France at the time. This is like the only game that they made. Really cool.
Yeah. Also, I researched the Toy Story plot, and it wasn't like in this game. The protagonist was concerned about getting something new for his birthday and abandon the old toys.
I guess that's it. Not really much else to say.
Yeah, with that, thanks for the run.
Yeah, thanks
We
for...
will get set up for WarioWare. Also, your shout out.